Let's get sweaty.
Hey guys, welcome to a Shenmue Dojo podcast. Today's video is going to be talking about the end of year and all the topics and things that have happened across 2025. We're going to go through January all the way to December, and there's about 33 topics to go through, so there's a huge amount there for all of us to cover. I'm flying solo today, as James, as everybody knows, is in Japan and is living there currently, so there's a knock at my door. Come on in. Come on in. Well, actually, he's not in Japan. James is actually here with me right now, having just knocked the door.
Special delivery, just woken up everyone and set the dog off a little bit.
Pull yourself in a bit if you want as well, man.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think your wife thinks that someone's at the door.
I think she actually legitimately thought someone was at the door there. There's not at the door. That's us playing to the camera a little bit.
How you doing, mate? You okay?
I have James with me. He's over in the UK for the week, visiting family and friends.
Yeah.
Over the sort of Christmas period.
Yeah, just sort of the New Year period. Just come back to England and obviously got some stuff from Matt, brought them round. We decided to do this end of year show actually in person.
Yeah.
Which we've got this sort of running joke now.
It's a rare treat
yeah,
for everybody.
Yeah.
But Matt, so what we're going to do, we've got, just looking at the list here, it's 32 topics, things that have happened across
so
the
much
year,
stuff, man.
Which is mental when you think, you look at Shenmue 4, obviously that hasn't happened at the moment, and you think on the surface, you go, well, surely there's not a lot happening in the world of Shenmue. Actually, there's been a lot happen in the world of Shenmue this year, and it's like we've documented it all.
Yep. So we tend to do this at the end of every year, don't we? Just to summarise what has actually happened in the year. And actually this year, you just literally said to me, Matt, that I don't think last year's was this busy.
No.
This 2025 was such a good year in a sense for Shenmue, and hopefully this leads nicely into 2026.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see how we go. So we're going to go through them in order of dates. So from, like I say, from January 2025 to the end of December 2025. There is a lot. Some topics will obviously sit on a bit more than others. There'll be links to all of this in the YouTube description. I will pull up bits and pieces and in the video accompaniment to this as well. So if you will listen to this through YouTube, you'll be able to see what we're looking at. Obviously, unfortunately, you can't do that if you're on the usual podcast providers, but that's absolutely fine. We can deal with all of that. So, James, are we happy to make a start and we just alternate as we go?
I think we should. Let's go. Let's kick it off.
Kick it off. So, number one, this is on January the 6th, 2025. Hobby Consolas, who are a big Spanish gaming outlet magazine, put a post out saying that they want Shenmue 4 for 2025, which is a nice little way to start the year. They want an announcement. They're not overly confident in it happening.
It hasn't happened.
Oh, well, yeah. So we're sort of there at the moment,
yeah.
And they make comment talking about ININ Games and whether they could be the ones to go and do it.
Which is interesting, actually, because that was that prior to or after?
After the videos I did on it.
Okay.
Which clearly didn't watch them. but there we go. So
yeah, I've got a few Hobby Consolas magazines actually that have got Shenmue covers.
I've got one
from back in the Dreamcast days. So yeah, big publication I think in Spain. I don't know, do they still do physical magazines?
Yes, they do. They do. They still do the physicals, which is quite impressive.
Yeah. So hopefully, maybe they'll do another article with the same headline. For 2026.
Would be nice if they run an article saying Shenmue 4 has been announced.
That would be the ultimate goal, I guess.
That would be good. So that covers that first one there.
Okay. Number 2 then, Matt. We kicked off season 5 of the show. Actually,
we did.
This is kind of wrapping up season 5. This particular episode today. January the 21st. That's when we kicked off season 5.
Yes,
and it's been a decent year actually. I know we had the short gap where I was moving to Japan and maybe there was like a 2-month hiatus, but we've actually steamrolled a few episodes since then. And in fact, I think we've got the 100 episode one to come after this one.
That's right, yeah.
So even though this technically is the last episode of the season, we've got that extra one that we recorded back in November maybe, which we delayed because of Dreams of Saturn, trying to get like a nice steady rollout of shows for Radio Sega as well. So
yeah. So that sets us up very nicely, and we are intending next year, or this year rather, to keep the podcast rolling as much as we can. We've obviously got one episode in the bank already, and we're hopefully with Shenmue 3 Enhanced on the way, there'll be more podcast content, I'm sure, as things move on.
Yeah.
So that's kicked the show off nicely. Then we come on, next one, January 25th was the Hideki Kawabata renders release.
This was a good one.
Almost by accident.
True. So I'm sure you guys are aware of this story, but if you are just soaking up the end of the year thing for the what has happened and you'd been living under a rock, essentially we won some artworks, some original Shenmue concept artworks from a Japanese auction site. This time? Was it this around this time? It was like January, right?
Yeah, it was.
So on doing a little bit of research into who these artworks may have belonged to, we came across this dude's name, this Hideki Kawabata, and then I think it was Chow that was randomly must have been Googling or whatever, and actually hiding in plain sight all these years on the Sega Retro, it's kind of like a wiki type of website for all things Sega. They actually had a link to Hideki Kawabata's portfolio website, which obviously we looked into, and just sitting there were all these amazing renders of just insane things to see, actually, like the karate tournament that predates the Saturn version. It's it is Saturn footage, I think.
Era 96.
We've got renders of Aldier in Dreamcast footage, or
Yang Lang as well.
Sorry. Ren in his Mongolian outfit, and the biggest one for me was that new character of Mao.
Yeah.
And her relationship with Ren. So you'll probably, I'm sure you've seen this artwork, but probably one of my favourite pieces of Shenmue artwork, actually, that it maybe even tops some of the original 3D renders from the Dreamcast era, actually, for me, because I love the sort of the starriness, the character composition, and she's like crying tears of stars as well. So obviously we did a show on this where we debated a little bit more, went into great detail, talking about who this character could be, but yeah, great stuff on it.
Absolutely insane. And actually this Mao popped up in the artworks later on as well, which we'll cover shortly. So that was a real sort of, I guess that was a big piece of news there and got people very, very excited. Obviously showed as well that people like Yang Lang Aldier were always part of the plan for Shenmue 3. Whatever how it was executed, they were always part of this wider plan around Shenmue, and all this content stretching, what we've got out there now is stretching to Shenmue 4, even potentially Shenmue 5.
Yeah.
So they have plans for all of this. It's then, I guess, how they execute it all in the right way. But that's a discussion point for another day, I guess.
But for them to have built it on the Dreamcast as well.
I know, it just shows how far ahead they were thinking.
Yeah.
And actually the practices they were using of essentially developing several titles at the same time is what RGG do now.
Yeah.
So they've taken that practice and have used that within Sega, and it clearly done them wonders. I mean, RGG released a title at least one a year, if not more. About
5 a year, I feel like.
So there we go. Then we move on. This then comes on to March the 1st of February was pretty dead. The BAFTA poll opened. So BAFTA were asking the public what the most influential video game of all time was. We love a good poll. Shenmue fans love a good poll. We put some, just put a video out there, put a little bit and piece out there around it. I can't remember who mentioned this in our Discord originally, so apologies if I'm forgetting who it was and I can't give you the credit that's deserved.
Casey? Or am I thinking of something else?
Casey was Times Square.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I can't think who this was, so whoever you are, if you just drop us a comment and let us know, because I can't remember. But someone posted this in Discord. I then did a video, did the main site post and all the rest of it. And then we got the results a month later, which we'll come on to. And they, suffice to say, surprised everybody. But we'll park that for just a second as we move on to the next one.
Yes. So, well, not quite yet, but next up, March the 2nd, so literally the day after, we got the Shenmue Figgyz announced. So obviously Figgyz Brand new, kind of almost like a Funko Pop, but a different take on that.
Yeah.
Kind of figure pixel artwork from the folks over at First for Figgyz. And these were really exciting at the time because obviously they announced quite a few different waves of different things like Sonic, Street Fighter, and obviously Shenmue was part of that, which took us by surprise. So originally I think it was my friend Rhino who brought this to my attention because he's a big First for Figgyz guy, and he was like, just tease something Shenmue related in this live stream. So we checked out the live stream, and sure enough, Alex, the guy over at First for Figgyz there, was teasing Shenmue Figgyz. He mentioned that there was 4, a Rio, Shenmue, Ren and a Landine, and this was like literally the inaugural announcement.
It's the first proper wave of these things coming out. So Shenmue came out in the first wave, which they came out on actually June the 4th, which I thought was very apt and very... I wonder if it was deliberate. I don't know. We are very lucky that we managed to get a pre-release set of these and did an unboxing of these. So James and I had we did a sort of a back and forth, didn't we? Doing the unboxing, you unboxed one, I unboxed one. We had a thought about it.
Did we do that in person?
No, you were at yours.
Oh yeah.
I was here, and we ended up doing that as a back and forth. I think you probably in the caravan actually, thinking about that.
Maybe.
But yeah, so that was then Shenmue Figgyz. We had the access to it. It was great. And I think you can see a couple on the shelves behind me actually if you haven't seen them before, but they are still available. There is, yes, you can just about see it. I think they're into what is it, version 2 or whatever they are now.
Maybe. I mean, it's difficult to tell, but on eBay someone was selling some of the Rens, I think, or some of the other characters, and they say 2nd edition on the artwork.
So that says to me the first edition's sold out, which is really positive, which will then feed into something we're going to talk about later. But we'll leave it there. Next up, March 24th, 2025, Steel Paws was released. So for those of you who remember back on the Game Awards in December 2024, in the pre-show, Steel Paws was announced as the new title from WiseNet. This was a Netflix exclusive at the time. They had that nice sort of anime trailer for it, really cool. Clearly some money had been spent on that trailer.
Actually, yeah.
It looked really, really good. And then the game itself released on mobile devices if you had a Netflix account. So if you had iOS or Android and had a Netflix account, you could access this game as part of your subscription. It released on March the 24th. And I enjoyed the game. I think some people were a bit unsure about it. It didn't really make a massive amount of waves that I think maybe they're hoping for. Netflix have then changed their whole strategy around games and what they're putting on their platform at the moment, and Steel Paws was recently taken off of there.
Which is unfortunate, but unless they've got a wider plan...
They must have something, because they changed the logo from the one they had with Netflix to a new logo on the WiseNet website, which
sounds like something's brewing.
Sounds like they've either Netflix own the logo or, like you say, something's brewing. So that came out on March 24th. I did a full-scale written review for it. I did a full-scale video review for this game as well, and I streamed it. We did a stream of it. I enjoyed the game. I think, yes, you can argue it's a bit basic. The user interface is a bit difficult at times, but I overall had a good time. It was a solid 7 out of 10 game for me. The only real issue I had was the touch controls. I couldn't get around them.
It was definitely a controller-based game. So for it to be released as a mobile game, that was maybe just some sort of exclusivity tie. So hopefully it can reach consoles and we can, maybe get a strictly limited version of this, right?
That would be
good.
Be
nice.
Would be very, very
Considering
good.
we've just had the Air Twister collector's editions here.
Yeah, which I haven't put in here actually, but they turned up 2 years late or whatever. But I will say this, I unboxed them and I was very happy with it.
Yeah.
Actually, I was pleasantly surprised how good they were. So that's Steel Paws, nice and covered. Then we're on to a big one.
Right, so next up is the BAFTA poll. Is this the results?
This is the results.
This is the results, guys. So this was April the 3rd. Shenmue wins a BAFTA. Who'd have thought it, eh? Number 1 out of all these games that could potentially have won. I know a lot of people put that down to the Shenmue community rallying behind voting, but any video game community could have done the same for their game. Obviously Shenmue fans are, in my opinion, the most passionate out there. So actually, although I was surprised to see it in this list and even coming out on top, I kind of wasn't surprised at the same time, if that makes sense, because obviously I know what Shenmue fans are capable of, and once people start trying the best to sort of like push towards something, we do tend to achieve some crazy things at times.
We do. I remember thinking at the time, if we get into the top 10 or even make the list, I'd have been very, very happy with it, because I think actually the whole point of this whole thing is to keep Shenmue in the spotlight. That's exactly why we do this, is to keep Shenmue relevant as much as we possibly can. For it then to top the poll, and this was on April the 3rd, was mad. It was trending everywhere. Sega had to say something about it. Wisenet tweeted about it as well. ITV Evening News in the UK did a full-scale report on this thing.
I remember watching for about 2 hours the ITV News, or an hour, and it was the last thing that they did on the news. So they kept teasing it. They kept having these intermittent breaks, and they were like, coming up later, find out what the best game is that you've never even heard of, type of thing. And then it was like right at the end, and I was recording the whole thing, and then I had to just snip that last little chunk out. But you can actually watch that on the YouTube channel at ITV. There. It's really interesting actually to see this sort of history piece. Actually, it's going to be there now for the rest of eternity, and people look back at like this ITV news footage and like, oh, Shenmue won a BAFTA randomly.
So it's insane. I know it's a public poll and all the rest of it, and there were some titles that you think about probably shouldn't have been there, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 being one of them. But I would argue that a lot of those titles should be in that list. You can argue then around the order, absolutely, but Shenmue, whether it should finish number 1 or not, that's up for debate. Not for us, but for wider gaming public, I'm sure it's up for debate. But you can't deny the influence that game had, certainly in terms of the AAA titles, in terms of how games were made. Everything around that broke new ground. So for it to be in this list was amazing. For it to top it was insane. And the amount of coverage this drew in terms of media, everything else, and just Shenmue being in the spotlight was on another level, wasn't it?
Yeah. See, a lot of people did talk about the list negatively because of instances like Kingdom Come Deliverance being in there. But then if Shenmue wasn't in the list, those games would still be in the list, Kingdom Come Deliverance. So you can't compare Shenmue to the fact that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is in there. I think Shenmue, with its own merits and its own what it did to the gaming industry with the open world thing, is the reason it's in the list.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
fact that it was number 1 is probably down to the fans, but it should be in the list. Things like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, maybe not, but Shenmue cannot be.
Yeah, you can't not have
put a negative spin on Shenmue being there because of these other games, because Shenmue definitely deserves to be in that list.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know some media outlets are trying to put a spin on, Shenmue should even be in that list. Why isn't it here? But then you look at the games that are in there: Doom, Mario 64. I'm trying to think of other games. Zelda was in there.
Exactly.
Grand Theft Auto,
Tetris.
Pong. They're all games that broke ground. Shenmue is one of those games. It's just the fact that Shenmue topped it. I think a few people were like, what? But hey ho, doesn't matter to us. We the coverage was insane. Yeah. So that covers that one very much nicely. It really, I thought it was a shot in the arm actually. As then we hit the summer months and it got really busy. Actually, I think it really lent into then everything else sort of following up from it. But then a couple of days later, April the 5th, the artwork design document release. So this was from the auction that we won. James and I literally sat in a library
for 4 hours, right?
4 or 5 hours,
yep.
And we scanned these in painstakingly. And then in Photoshop, I sat with it with all of the scans, touched a load of them up. When you put them on the website, touched some of the other ones up a bit more, got it all website ready.
Yep.
It took us weeks and hours of time to do this. But they're all on the website, and we released all of these design artworks. And like I've got here, hopefully people can see that. I'm going to have to go down a bit, and hopefully it zooms in.
Incredible artwork.
Zoom in, come on, there we go.
Yeah, so what we did was we cleaned them up, because obviously a photocopy scanning them in.
Yeah.
There was like loads of little black dots, I think, that was...
And like
maybe the photocopy machine wasn't the cleanest either.
No, I mean, it was a public photocopier.
Yeah.
But I mean, just had a quick look through. I mean, there's
some absolutely insane
images. Insane artworks, images in here. Just see if there's... Again, hopefully it doesn't cock things up too much, but you can sort of just see there.
And you've got some original hand-drawn ones in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can find them, Matt. But
find them. Hang on.
Just honestly, we were blown away by the amount of incredible artwork that they've had to. Yeah, that's hand-drawn.
Hand-drawn Nielsen, look. I mean,
that was probably my highlight of the year. That
mad.
Yeah.
absolutely mad. But we've preserved these. They are all on the website. They're all available for everybody to watch, to view, download. So they're all in a zip file. Everybody in the community can have access to these. That's the whole point of us getting hold of these. Should the same thing happen again, and other artworks turn up, you can bet your backside that we're going to be there bidding on these items.
We are all about preservation, aren't we? And the fact that you can just access these, and there's some Shenmue 4 potential spoiler
and 5,
things in there, with the Cliff Temple, actual physical concept art of things that we get to see, I think is just a dream to a Shenmue fan. We're waiting for more, so this gave us a little bit more, actually.
Yeah. And if you think Yu Suzuki, if you look at some of the videos that he's done and some of the interviews that he's done, you see these art folders in front of him. The stuff we've got is not the same ones, obviously, but if you look at the art style, look at the things that are in it, it's definitely in that vein. So we know it's all legit. We know it's all above board.
Character profiles as well.
Yeah, character profiles for like Niao-san,
Shenhua,
which really gave us an insight into her lineage and things like that as well. Absolute treasure trove worth of stuff. And without that, we don't get the Hideki Kawabata stuff either, which in itself was a...
So it was like a double whammy, wasn't it, of just an amazing stuff. Definitely check them out, guys.
Check them out.
Haven't yet.
Worth it. Wow, worth it.
Yeah. And then next, Matt, was sort of the start of Fan Game Central this year.
Yeah, it was.
So we had a lot of fan games, I think, in 2024.
Quite a few.
Like, obviously, Dreams of Saturn 2.0. There was the Chobo-chan game. I'm sure there was more, maybe some trailers for upcoming things. But this was a Sega Saturn game that you can actually play on a Sega Saturn. And this came from a guy called Frogball, Matt, that you interviewed.
I haven't interviewed him. I spoke to him. I haven't interviewed him formally. I'd love to. But this was essentially called Back in Yokosuka. And what it is a game that runs on native Sega Saturn. So if you can burn it to a disc, or you've got your Saru or whatever for your Sega Saturn, it will run on native hardware. And basically what it is a sort of a 2.5D isometric game with some 3D elements to it. So months ago he was doing and experimenting things like the U Arcade, where he had a working QT title. He had Space Harrier, which was
in 3D as well, like Saturn 3D.
Saturn
style.
3D. And you had the Space Harrier, but it was the Master System version in there as well, and all sorts of bits and pieces. And essentially it all came together in this game, which was also put together for a Saturn homebrew competition. It came second. So again, brilliant. Insane amount of works on it. Frogball's done like Metal Gear Solid on the Saturn. He's done Crash Bandicoot on the Saturn. Some other titles he's put together as well. So again, it's within that sort of vein to see all of that. So brilliant take all the same there. And if you haven't got it, then it is all available off of our website. The download link will be in the YouTube description below to have a look at that as well. Then about a month later, so bit quiet start of May, but this comes to the May the 23rd. ININ teases Shenmue 3 for Xbox and Nintendo Switch. So over on Blue Sky, ININ Games, the publisher of Shenmue 3, had been teasing a little bit about the potential plans for Shenmue 3. There was a reply put together by ININ saying something about the front cover of Edge magazine. User Kabak asked a question, so when is the game hitting Xbox and Switch too? To which ININ themselves would sort of reply very tongue-in-cheek, I will let you know, with a smiley face. Now I ran a news article on it and I ran a story on it through the videos to go, well, hang on a second, they're basically confirming this through the back door. A few people were like, well, it's not a confirmation. I'm going, well, you're playing with a fire here. If you're
the social media guy.
You're very, very much playing with fire if you're not announcing it very, very soon. I ran with it because I thought, do you know what, I can't not run with that. That's for me a blatant tease, and it got people talking. People very happy about it. I think.
Well, people that have obviously played Shenmue 2 on the original Xbox back in the day and maybe boycotted other systems and only want to play Shenmue 3 on the Xbox, this was a good sign for them. And then obviously Switch is such a huge potential market.
Insane. Even Switch 2, if you were going to go down that road as well. I mean, they've sold, 10-15 million of those already.
And just flying off the shelves still, aren't they? So, yeah, I mean, it's exciting to see what actually does happen with Shenmue 3 Enhanced when that comes out properly. And it is multi-platform.
Yeah.
Hopefully the numbers that in my head for Nintendo, Switch, etc.
Hopefully it transpires. That way. So that's good. We've got more on Shenmue 3 Enhanced as we come through this anyway.
Yeah. So next up, Matt, May the 23rd, so same day, we got an article from Jewel Shockers.
We did.
Where Shenmue made a list of, I don't know if it's the top 10 games or something like that.
Something like that.
Top 10 or 15 games that have aged like fine wine.
Which, again, it topped the list, which is insane. So these are older games that people have gone back to and gone, actually, they're still good, they're still playable now, and actually in some aspects are better than some modern games now. And Shenmue finished top of that list, which, again, nice to see, and shows the influence that Shenmue obviously had, being that sort of trailblazer, and like you say, timeless. So
timeless classic, yeah.
That's a good little article there. Then coming on to, we revived the interview series. This is on May the 27th. I think we carried the interview out a good week or two prior to this.
Yeah.
Just before my daughter was born as well. So we were right in the thick of it with that, with getting content together before I had, I say, a bit of time off. I didn't have that much time off in the end, but so we interviewed someone called Chase, who was the Dreamcast media and PR lead for Sega. Well, so he worked for a PR company but represented Sega.
Yep.
So he was in charge of all the PR around the marketing for the Dreamcast, Shenmue, Sega Fishing,
GDC.
He did GDC, all sorts of titles around the Dreamcast at the time. He was very much in charge of the PR for it, and gave us a really interesting insight into how that all came together, the marketing came together, the items that were produced, talking to Yu Suzuki, producing GDC 2000, and was just downright brilliant, I thought.
Really good interview. Such a great guy. He works for Stream Elements, or maybe he doesn't anymore.
Just left them, I think.
Just left, but such a nice bloke to speak to. He gave us such a good insight into obviously the American side of the Dreamcast at the launch, and some of the things that they were doing there to try and market the Dreamcast console. Some crazy stunts they did with like like the Jet Set Radio thing he was on about, or Crazy Taxi, competition type of things. So if you've not checked that interview out yet, guys, I would highly recommend it. And the video version, actually, you got
check the video
sort
out.
of the few podcast shows where we've got actual video footage of Chase talking to us, and he sent over some.
He sent over the slides, didn't he? From GDC and
some
all
of the original slides that they showed off at GDC, which I don't think anyone's seen actually, apart from the people that would have been in attendance.
So we hadn't seen them before. So they're again preserved on the website, which again is another insight into all this sort of history around Shenmue, and Chase was really good to share all of that with us. And actually, he ended up selling some of his stuff, didn't he?
He did, yeah. So I managed to grab some of the trading cards that they produced for Shenmue back in the day, and he actually sent me like a GDC breakfast interview type of thing, or whatever they were planning. That was like between Yu Suzuki, the Tetsuya guy, Suzuki, whatever his name is, who does like the Res, Tetris Effect, Space Channel 5, that guy.
Brilliant. So cracking insight into all of that as well. So that then moves us into June. I think we're now
June the 17th. So this, obviously the game hadn't actually come out yet, so this is talking about Shinobi, the brand new Shinobi game that released a few months back now. But we noticed, or was it? I think it was Corey Maru.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he was the guy that noticed that for like a brief frame in the trailer, Ryo's seen in the background on a forklift.
He is, and that obviously made it into the final game. It was like literally like a 2-second clip.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't
blinking,
long
you
at
miss
all.
it.
Yeah.
Which was really annoying for me, having just released a Cameos video at the time of Shenmue being in other games. So I then had to do a follow-up video to it.
It's good to get new ones in 2025. It shows that they're still thinking of Shenmue.
And there's this whole, I say conspiracy theory, it's probably the wrong word, but Lizard Cube, who made this game, then when they made Streets of Rage 4, had a massive mural to Shinobi in the background of one of the levels. So everybody started talking, going, well, hang on a minute, you've done a blatant Shenmue Now, there are other teases within the game as well for other Sega titles, but the Shenmue one was blatant. It's obvious it's there. And actually, if you run up and down the level, Ryo keeps coming with you.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a blinking, you miss it in the level. It's there for quite a while. I think they've since denied that they're doing anything Shenmue, but who knows? They could just be saying that.
That's true.
They may also be telling the truth, but that's the beauty of us not knowing.
A 2D Shenmue game would be sick, wouldn't it?
I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it. And there's Orient's doing one at the moment as a fan game. That 2D side-scroller beating them up. Obviously, you then go back to Shenmue Mania that Jibby and Sliver of Sand put together for the April Fools.
Yeah.
Actually showed a good concept for what it could look like.
Yeah,
would be pretty cool.
You don't think it would work, but actually it looks like it could.
It could work.
Yeah, it's like a nice brawler. Obviously, Streets of Rage 4 is a brawler. Shinobi's a side-scrolling brawler type of thing. So why not have a Shenmue universe where Ryo's side-scrolling across the screen, beating up thugs and, saving cats,
collecting capsules and driving forklifts.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Brilliant. So then we come on to... We had a bit of a dry period, so July was pretty dead. Nothing going on there. But then we come on to August the 11th in Metro. Shenmue's featured in Metro. So Metro, for anybody who isn't aware, is a UK publication, newspaper. And it's very big in the south of the UK. It's not so big in the north. You always find it around London more than anywhere else.
Kind of the underground, isn't it?
Yeah, and they have
underground connotations for me with the Metro.
It does a bit. I'm sure you used to be able to walk on to grab one if you walked onto the underground. Yeah. So anyway, they have these sort of open submissions, and readers can submit their own sort of 500-600 word article on things, video games, whatever. And a Metro reader by the name of Mike Wilson shared a really sort of earnest and sincere readers feature on Shenmue, and it's really well written, really passionately written. Got a lot of coverage actually. I think Metro put it on the front page as well of their website, which was pretty cool. And I'm sure we shared it at the time, and I think Mike even may have joined the Discord around that time. I'm sure I remember seeing him in there under whatever pseudonym he's in.
Can you still read the article?
Yeah, it's still online, still on. We've linked it. It's all there. You can still read the article. So if you haven't done it, go and read it already. But then a week later, all hell broke loose. So
this was where we got Shenmue 3 announced.
Yes.
So I was wondering, when the was it number 1 we were talking about?
Yes.
Was it Hobby Consolas?
Yeah.
No. Where was it? Was it that one I was talking about? Where we didn't know. Hang on. Yeah, it must have been that first one where we were talking about. They're hoping for ININ Games or something.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, so I was thinking, like, had we known about the ININ Games at that point, or were they speculating, or did they know behind the scenes? So we did actually get a proper announcement here, August the 18th rather, Shenmue 3 Enhanced Edition, where it's detailing all of the enhanced features that are planned. Obviously, they're still working on this project at the moment. We've not really heard too much since.
No.
No trailer involved. Obviously, we met Heiko and Felix at Gamescom, which was such a surprise for me. That was like a last minute kind of, I think it was literally 2 or 3 days before.
Yeah.
Decided to just, let's do it. Let's go Gamescom. Met up with them guys there, and they told us a little bit more about the game. We did that interview.
Yeah, took questions
which
from the
actually
community,
that's another one of my highlights of this year actually.
Yeah.
So that and the artworks are probably my 2 peak Shenmue moments of the year for sure.
And that was hard work as well, because ININ were very good with us. They let us know ahead of time when this was happening, so it meant we could get our content together prior to Gamescom around this, which meant we got the press release first. We had everything lined up and ready to go. So when that embargo lifted, I literally just had to hit a button, and it was so good. And actually, I think we probably I know for a fact we were the first site to break it, because I was not going to miss that opportunity. That moment that hit that embargo, bam, it went, and it went from there, which was really cool.
Which helpful actually when you can do things like that, because it stops us from like
panicking.
Yeah, panic stations. You're at work, I'm at work. There's no one to cover the news. Yet we're the ones that are expected to cover it. So if we can get a heads up on these sort of things like that, definitely goes a long way. And then it can make it the release, the announcement, a lot smoother, of course. But also, we've got that time to make it. Give it what it deserves, if you know what I mean.
And it was nice they trusted us, because obviously they came to us with this information, not massively, not weeks and weeks ahead, but a good few days, which, given that obviously, they didn't know us personally at this point in time, apart from the odd email exchange, especially back when we did the Air Twister stuff as well, if you remember us doing that. So there's obviously some level of trust there, but to give us that information and say, look, please don't say anything, obviously we're not going to.
Yeah. So
then have that come out in the way it did, it just worked brilliantly. And then we got the interview with them, as you said, which was
so nice,
so good to sit down with
both
them both.
Both of them were so nice, lovely people, and spoken to them since. Had a coffee with Felix actually, and just such a nice guy.
Yeah,
like
brilliant.
Both of them, Heiko and Felix, top people.
And work really, really hard behind the scenes. I think you don't realise the amount of passion that's going into the projects that ININ put together as a whole, because they are a small company. They have a lot of work on their plate for what they're doing.
Everything they do, I think they're passionate about. So obviously Simon the Sorcerer was just announced at the same sort of time, so that was being shown off at Gamescom. That has subsequently released now.
Yes, and it's a good game.
Good game, yeah.
Quite enjoy it. I need to finish the Let's Play on it. I need to do it, but that's another thing for another day. So that was August. That took up a lot of our time, and then we had a sort of, I guess, a gap again. September was pretty quiet. Also, no podcasts and things like that because again we were pretty busy with James moving to Japan and everything else kicking off. But then on the October it was technically the 4th, but this was published on the 5th by us. Ryo Hazuki mod for Sonic Cross Worlds Racing by Sif Esk, who's actually a big Sonic content creator, which I didn't know at the time.
Right, cool.
And they've put together Ryo Hazuki, so they've ripped the Ryo Hazuki model from Shenmue 3 and popped it into Cross Worlds Racing, replacing the Hatsune Miku model.
I see.
And then essentially you can drive around as Ryo with all your own little animations and the rest of it, and has since updated it with a second version. I haven't uploaded it, I haven't had time to.
Oh, nice.
But
I remember you did that video on it and you were doing online racing. And there was quite a few Ryos, weren't there?
Yeah.
You were like, oh, I'm surprised everyone's using this mod, but actually anyone that uses Hatsune Miku
becomes as Ryo on my screen.
For you, yeah.
But it's still good fun.
It's still good fun, yeah.
Still good fun. So that's really cool. All downloadable from the website, and I will put up the new version when I get a bit of time.
I mean, they should have done an official Ryo.
Well, maybe they will, because they were talking in an interview recently, Crossworld's team, about what they want for 2026, and they do want to make it surprising and put more things in it.
Okay.
So there is
Still
an outside chance there that they could happen.
Did they ever go through that full, complete list of the characters to come? Or is that still
Not
in the works?
Not yet, because Knights is on the way, if not already.
Because they had
Kasuga has been in it.
They had a promotional image at one point, and there was 10 question marks next to Sega characters.
I did a video around that time, and I went through them and I said, wow, Knights on the back of the covers, that's one of them. Kasuga we already knew about. I then speculated they might do a Virtual Fighter, they might do Jet Set Radio, they might do like Shinobi,
sense.
Because obviously they're the sort of titles that are coming out recently, now. So beyond that, there wasn't many slots left, but then I didn't really think about them going into 2026. And
Tangle and Whisper, aren't they?
So random. Like if you, I mean, again, if you're a Sonic fan, a hardcore Sonic fan, you know who they were. But I'm going from an IP recognisability standpoint. If you're an average fan on the street, average gamer, you're not going to know who they are.
No.
You've got more chance to know who Ryo Hazuki is, surely.
Probably, actually, yeah.
But there you go. So that was a cool mod to see, all the same. And it's downloadable, and I'll put the new version up when we get a bit of time.
Okay, so next up, Matt, talking about fans again. Disc Image. Was that the name of the guy?
That is the name of the person, yeah.
The person, okay. So he actually launched a cassette tape album of 14 of their most beloved Shenmue tracks, fully remixed.
Yeah.
This was released on October the 10th, and you could actually get a physical cassette.
It's sold out.
I'm glad I ordered now, knowing that it's sold out.
Yeah, that's it, gone.
Recently opened that actually because I've been sitting on like a load of parcels in Japan waiting to do like an unboxing video, and then I just decided like, oh, screw it, because I was coming back home for Christmas, New Year, so I was like, I've got all these boxes, I need to open them. So I've literally checked this out about a week ago, and the artwork's fantastic.
It's all good.
The cassette's like a nice sort of turquoisey sort of greeny blue, with Ryo and Nozomi on the bike depicted on there. He's done such a fantastic job, like super high quality, like a proper physical, proper release that I would expect to release. Like if I was to do a cassette with Shenmue World, for example, I'd want it to be this quality. So very impressed with it. I think you can check the music out anyway if you're interested. So we'll put the link.
Yes,
obviously
the
we're going to
Bandcamp
put
links
all
there.
the links for everything that we're talking about below. But yeah, Bandcamp, and you can listen to the music, and it's actually pretty good. Actually, it's not too
Very
bad.
good, very, very good. So then, a few days later, October 13th comes along. The poll for the Shenmue Wave 2 Figgyz was announced. So I think somebody cheekily asked, it might have been us, I can't remember.
Sounds about right.
Somebody asked, what's happening with Wave 2 for Shenmue? And Alex at First Figgyz put a poll out going, is there a demand for Shenmue Wave 2? And that was then on the Figgyz world, that then went over to Twitter and then got quite a few votes, and I think 80 or 90% of people going, yes, absolutely, give us more. Yeah. We now know that we're now into the second editions of the Shenmues as well, which is brilliant. So clearly they've sold pretty well.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that we're going to get some more Shenmue Figgyz at some point.
I'd hope so. I mean, they've done quite a few different ways for other franchises, like franchises that to me are lesser known than Shenmue almost. So obviously recently on there, there's Skies of Arcadia, there's Streets of Rage, there's Golden Axe, but there's about 5 or 6 Sonic Waves.
Yeah,
already,
I've got a few of them already.
Yeah. and some anime are getting multiple waves, so it's not out of the realms of possibility that Shenmue could get a wave 2. It just depends on what kind of characters you could see in this wave 2. What do you think? Do you think they kind of have to do another Rio, do you think?
I don't know. Wow.
They shouldn't do, but
they
shouldn't
probably
do.
will. I mean, you
right?
look at the Sonic ones, they've done about 5 of Sonic himself, haven't they, or whatever.
So they're probably bound to do Rio on a forklift or something.
Yeah.
And then 3 other characters.
Do Rio on a forklift, maybe Guizhang. You could probably potentially do like Tom. You could do Nozomi. You could do Juin. You could do Joy. Plenty of them that are there.
I can't imagine doing a Shenmue 3 character, to be honest.
No, I think
it's going to be someone from Shenmue 2, like a Joy, Nozomi, and then maybe another man or another villain. Chai could work.
Dolnir, if you're going down that road as well, potentially. But again, we'll see what happens in 2026. But I think we're going to get some form of Shenmue Figgyz. We just don't know what they are yet.
Yeah, hope so.
That moves us on then. October 27th, James.
October 27th. This is where we got Dreams of Saturn 3.0 announced by George Kitchen. Obviously, we've done the Christmas show with him, where you can learn more about this game. If you didn't realise, this is obviously a fan game, a Shenmue fan game. We already talked about a couple of fan games in this list so far, but I think Dreams of Saturn 3.0 has to be the biggest fan game ever released for Shenmue. I think you said it's like a 17-hour game at this point.
Insane.
It is like a fully fledged game. Obviously, a lot of tongue-in-cheek kind of humour in there, but so much Shenmue love, so much Sega love. If you're a fan of Sega Saturn specifically, a lot of Saturn stuff in there, but there's also bits of Mega Drive, bits of Dreamcast, just Sega history outright. It's just insane. The amount of detail he's put in this game is stunning, really. And so this was the announcement, release date pending at the time, and a trailer, maybe a little trailer?
It wasn't even that. It was a tweet he put out. Just a tweet going, Dreams of Saturn, December the 19th, available through the Shenmue Dojo. There were some screenshots, I think. Okay. George has been sort of sharing screenshots in our Discord, so you'll probably see with Reclaiming the Path.
Yes.
He keeps sharing shots of that in there as well. So that was, if you're in our Discord, again, we can put the link so you can join it. But if you want sort of updates on Reclaiming the Path and other fan projects, that's also the place to be, because there's quite often screenshots from George.
Well, you mentioned that Orient earlier.
Yeah.
So if you want more, if you've not seen any of that,
check it out.
That's
good.
To be fair, he might only be sharing it in our Discord. I've not seen it outside of the Discord.
No, I haven't seen anything on the forums from memory.
And then you've got Idris working on the boat chapter kind of game he's making. So
Journey to Hong Kong.
So there's 3 fan games there, and more. To be honest, Reclaiming the Path as well.
Wow, yeah. I won't say too much on that.
We'll come on to this stuff a little bit later, yeah.
So then, ironically, number 20 of the list, but Shenmue turns 25 in North America, 9th of November. So this was a day of celebration where we celebrated the 25th anniversary for the release in North America. I sort of amalgamated the PAL release into it a little bit as well. Just, I think, quite frankly, I don't think I'd had the time to do it all twice. So I did a tribute video with fans contributing to the sort of written bits for that, which I put together. There were lots of posts out on the social media from Clunky putting together, and we also did a special stream on the day, where eventually we got playing Shenmue on the Dreamcast despite flipping technical issues, but we got there in the end.
Original hardware.
And also triggered at that point in time a rant from me because Sega hadn't recognised it. They hadn't said a bloody word.
Well, Matt, maybe we should move into 21 then on the list, because after much pressure from the community, actually Sega did end up pushing a tweet out. I'm not sure if they did it off the cusp of some of the outrage.
I'd like to think it was a bit of us pushing
maybe a little bit. So this kind of sort of bridged, because it was quite late in the day, so it kind of bridged the 9th, the 10th of November here.
Yeah.
But such good recognition for the series by putting this tweet out, and actually probably one of their most viral tweets of the year.
Yeah, without doubt. Over 500,000 hits.
Yeah.
And then the engagement around that tweet was insane. So if anybody needs a barometer of people still caring about Shenmue, there's certainly one there for anybody. If you're thinking about investing in this game long term, people still want it and people still hold it in high regard. I just think it's then getting something over the line to make it happen. But the fact Sega actually bothered was a real surprise.
Yeah.
I had to do a video basically eating a bit of humble pie, but I'll eat humble pie all day if it means that Sega are getting on board and actually recognising it. It's not like it doesn't mean Sega are going to make another Shenmue game. It really doesn't. But the fact they've recognised it and gone, actually, that's been part of our history and people still care about it. Outside of the Jet Set Radio tweet they did, which got about 1 million hits, I think this is the next highest they've had on the Sega West
so hopefully
X
that
account.
sends a message. Obviously, they're putting a lot of eggs in the basket for Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, they are. Big time.
So hopefully, I don't know what the best scenario is if that does work out for them or doesn't work out for them, but hopefully Shenmue is in their thoughts.
It's got to be somewhere. Got to be somewhere. So then that's all good, all fine. Then on the 29th of November, although it happened I think earlier than this, we just didn't get round to it. The dojo, the website turned 25 years old, a quarter of a century old.
Insane.
Mad that this website's been going for as long as it has done. Several iterations, several different owners, different outlooks, different philosophies around it, but one thing that's always stayed certain is the website and all the rest of it. And we're obviously hoping to keep pushing into the next 25 years. Hopefully it doesn't take 25 years to get to the end of this bloody saga, but let's just see where we end up with all of that. So again, great milestone, and that we have got some pins coming, but we'll talk about those shortly.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice that we've been around sort of as long as the game has.
Yeah.
It's, obviously 25 years is just insane in general. So from when we first played Shenmue, we are 25 years older.
Which is not fun.
It's not fun at all. But yeah, love to see that. And long may it continue. It's in good hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
So next up, Matt, Shenmue turns 25 in PAL regions now.
Yes.
So obviously we're celebrating all these milestones. I think I've mentioned this before. A lot of this tends to happen towards the end of the year because we've got obviously the year for North America, PAL, Japan, the website, Dreamcast in general. Lots of milestones all at the tail end of the year here. And we also did a special stream to
just celebrate it.
Celebrate again. 25 years since I first played Shenmue.
And me, which was insane. Going into the Christmas season, it's that sort of Christmassy game that we all like and enjoy. And again, those sort of streams going to continue to 2026 anyway. So again, brilliant to see, and there was lots of engagement around it. And I didn't expect Sega to say anything for this one, and they absolutely didn't. But a few little magazines did, which was also good to see. And then December the 4th happens, another big one, very controversial, I think it's fair to say, but I would argue probably the biggest talking point of the year, potentially. People may disagree with me on that one. So on December the 4th, a trailer was released, seemingly, we now know it's not, seemingly saying that Shenmue 4 was on the way, it was going to be announced at the Game Awards, containing content from what we can only gather are chapter cards and other bits of information that is all out there publicly available, it must be said, and it's depicted this really cool trailer of Ryo's journey across China, meeting other martial artists, going to the Cliff Temple, encountering some sort of fighting tournament, which is depicted in chapter card 4, Shuzo as well, the train, some of the Project Berkeley stuff's in there, Zimming. Man, oh man, before we talk into sort of what happened afterwards, that trailer, while it obviously was too good to be true, and that was always in a fair amount of our heads, let's not beat around the bush around it, how good was it?
It was insane. I mean, the first time I saw it, I knew it was too good to be true. Like, I had this niggling doubt about the whole thing, but the more I watched it, the more I was like, this is exactly what we want as Shenmue fans. We want the story-based game, and when a trailer, fake or not, is all story heavily focused, it's just whets the appetite for what we want. This is exactly the kind of story that we want as Shenmue fans. We want to learn more about Ryo and his journey, and some of these things that we've seen in artworks and chapter tiles,
just bonkers,
old trailers like Project Berkeley and all this kind of just stuff, like you say, that's publicly available from all these different things from over the years, but to see it all come together and actually manifest into what could potentially be the way that Shenmue looks in the future, seeing that, AI or not, it was pretty spectacular, I thought. And I know a lot of people are really against AI, and I can understand it in terms of like killing people's jobs.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Obviously if AI is being used to stop people from working. Like, people are getting fired for computers, which has happened in the past anyway with other things. Other technology has taken over actual human-based work, but obviously that's the negative, and stealing artwork, I guess, these types of things. But I don't know where I sit on it in terms of the merit behind it, because although it was great to see what a potential Shenmue 4 could be like, there was also that kind of sneaky, this is leaked trailer footage, this is from Wisenet, and then obviously we had the statement from Wisenet which would lead you to believe that this isn't anything to do with Wisenet. So any potential footage is all AI generated, I guess, or in-engine somehow. Honestly, I don't know how it was made, but Wisenet have distanced themselves completely from this trailer. So it's still debatable whether or not they're actually working on a Shenmue 4, or whether they have been since 2019, and some of this is leaked into the hands of whoever made this trailer. I'm not quite sure if it goes that far or it's literally all computer generated, but it's tricky because obviously the future of the series now is going to be put on a pedestal for this trailer, I guess, in a sense. So if the story content in 4 isn't as good or as hard-hitting as this trailer was, people might feel disappointed again. It's tricky. There's like a weird balance. Like, we don't expect Shenmue 4 to be mind-blowing, and I don't think any fan wants it to be the Shenmue 2 to Shenmue 1 mind-blowing. We just want it to be a great game that tells more of the story. We're not too fussed about forklifts anymore. We're not too fussed about loads of mini games and arcades. We just want the focus to be story, and we want it to be told at a decent level. That's all I care about. Just a decent game. It doesn't need to be mind-blowing. It doesn't need to be the best game ever made again, because the best game ever made was Shenmue 1, was Shenmue 2. It doesn't need to be on those levels. It just needs to continue the story and just reaches to a point that we've been waiting for all these years.
Yeah, and that point there you say about expectation is big, because Wisenet could look at that and go, that's not in our plans, we can't hit that, this and the other. So saying an actual official trailer pops out, that may then not be what they're thinking about, and as you say, there'd be natural disappointment around it. What I think you've touched on there as well is actually the importance of the story here. And what I'd be saying to anybody who's listening is actually this shows how much the community wants a Shenmue 4. For me, completely, and I've got the fan survey which I'll talk about in a minute as well, but completely puts to bed to me this whole, the community are pissed off with Shenmue 3, we don't want it. Well, we know that's complete bollocks. Absolute complete bollocks now.
Maybe back in 2019
there was
people felt like that, but I think as time's gone on, people have either matured a bit more again, or they we take a lot of things for granted. I took it for granted that now Shenmue was back, we'd have a 3, we'd have a 4, we'd have a 5. After 15 to 18 year wait already,
we'll get this thing done.
I thought, this is it now. It's been reborn, it's been brought back from the dead, and it's going to get finished. And then obviously Shenmue 3 happens, and then we're still waiting here. It's like now 2026 and we're still waiting. So we're getting back to where we were all those years ago, and it was such a hard rally to get behind with the Save Shenmue.
The whole movement around
the movement that we've already done back in the day. So for us to have to do it again now, after it felt like Shenmue was back, is a bit of a kick in the teeth.
It is, but what this has done has re-engaged people, has really got people back on the Shenmue train. Because what I've seen is people coming back and being active again and go, actually, do you know what? This has made me interested in Shenmue again. This has made me want Shenmue again. This has made me want to be involved and want to know where this story is going.
And some new fans again recently. Some
lots
brand new fans. I don't know if they picked up from some hype again.
So again, it's one of those things that actually, while people sit there, and I got a lot of shit online for some of the stuff that I said, and I stand by, I will absolutely stand by that. I don't care whether this trailer's fake or not. What it's done is engage people. What it's done is given Shenmue a spotlight. What it's done is given us a platform. Given us that point again that when Shenmue news breaks, the media, everybody picks up on it. It's not like it's some random little game that nobody cares about. Shenmue gets eyes, it gets attention every time. This this was covered worldwide. And when Wisenet did their statement, worldwide coverage again. So if I'm Wisenet looking at this, they should be looking at this and going, right, how do we capitalise on this now? Now I've got statistics from the website, I've got other bits and pieces I'm putting together that I'm going to send to Wisenet and go, look, this is the impact this thing had. I appreciate their statement, I appreciate all of that. They've got to protect themselves, protect their assets and anything like that. But they need to take this as a positive now, because this has created more hype in a few weeks than has happened for years. And that's outside the anime, Shenmue 3 Enhanced, which got a lot of hype in itself, but has really got things going again. I think given us a real focus for the tweetathons this year, where we are going to be a bit more assertive about how we approach this thing and how we hopefully get ourselves to a Shenmue 4.
I think what the trailer did was we were just so many people were just unsure if it was real or not, and I think the fact that it could be real has got people having this clamour, this taste for Shenmue again. And I understand the statement that Wisenet had to make.
Absolutely.
I think that's less about the logo, in my opinion, as more as they don't want other people to then start making their own trailers or using AI tools to do stuff that could potentially damage the legacy or the future of the series, I guess, because once one person does something and it blows up like this, it just opens the door for more people to do other things. So I think they just wanted to close the door on that as quickly as possible, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's really like we're coming at you, we want to sue you, we want to see you, going full Nintendo on people. I think it was just as a means to shut people down who might want to consider doing things like this in the future.
Which you can understand.
Which I can totally understand, because although this did some waves and numbers, could be quite damaging.
Could be.
The actual true Shenmue 4 doesn't live up to the expectations that this trailer has brought, I guess.
I just hope Wisenet see the reaction to this and go, right, this is what we need to do now. We must nail the story. It's not about technology, it's not about Shenmue being groundbreaking anymore, it is about the story. It's the single most important factor of this game going forward. It has to be.
It is to every Shenmue fan out there that's stuck by the series. It's just because we've stuck by it because we want to know what happens story-wise. Again, we're not too fussed about Ryo chopping wood.
No.
Obviously, if that helps the narrative of the game, and it's difficult because obviously you need these things in to introduce players to a game. It needs to be a game at the end of the day, but it also needs to be the story that we've wanted to know the next chapter of, or the ending of, for
blooming years,
25 years now. So
we'll move on then, and this again, I guess, talks about the engagement this thing got. That this came from Game Rant, an article basically saying the fake trailer made me believe again, which they said Tom Bowen, who wrote this, is clearly a Shenmue fan, and said actually he'd completely given up on Shenmue, saw this trailer and was like, I don't care. This has reignited my passion.
And quite a few people have had the same kind of reaction.
And that came out on December 10th, a couple of days later. And then a few days following that, James, The Muppets and Shenmue. Well, that one out.
That was a good one, actually. So this, obviously everyone was watching the Game Awards just on the off chance that the trailer could have some legitimacy behind it.
I was in bed. I wasn't.
I forget what I was doing. I think Japan time, it wasn't the best, or I was working or something. But I caught up on this, and then someone shared on the Discord the Muppets name drop Shenmue and a little Diddy number that they do halfway between the thing, which was interesting. I don't know if that's anything to do with the recent Shenmue in the headlines and they threw it in, or they'd always planned to have that word in there because it rhymed or helped rhyme in the song. But yeah, Shenmue randomly getting a mention at the Game Awards.
Yeah, so there we go. Maybe this coming year we'll actually be at the Game Awards with a video game. That would be nice. Or the amount of money
made to look like Muppets.
Well, the amount of money it costs for a 3-minute trailer is $1 million.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody's got $1 million to chuck at a trailer for Shenmue 4 when we're thinking we're trying to get a budget for this game in the first place.
Did anyone chuck a tenner to get the name drop by the Muppets, Miss Piggy?
So there we go. Moving on then. So we come on to Hazuki Dojo reimagined in Unreal 5 by Ahmad Z. This was basically a reimagining of the Shenmue Hazuki Dojo in Unreal 5 and what it could look like. put together. It looks really cool. Downloadable directly from us at the moment. It's on the forums on the website. I had a quick play and did a video on this as well. It looks really good.
Looks
so
gorgeous,
if you're looking for a Shenmue remake, this could be the vein you go in.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous. It shows what can be done in Unreal 5 actually. Some of the assets he's used or whatever, it's just completely give off the original Shenmue vibes. You've got the huge Hazuki residence, the dojo, the tree, the pond with the fish, the weather effects with the day and night cycle that he's done.
It was really good.
It would be amazing to have a full Shenmue remake that looks like this, in my opinion. I think
it would be all down for that. That's something we'll talk about in a bit as well. So then, James, thinks yours, the next one, Dreams of Saturn 3.
Yeah, so just showing what fans are capable of doing, and testament here to George Kitchen here, actually launched Dreams of Saturn 3.0. So obviously he did Dreams of Saturn 1 2 years ago, Dreams of Saturn 2 a year ago, and now Dreams of Saturn 3. And he's already bloody talking about Dreams of Saturn 4.
I know.
And working on Reclaiming the Path. But if you've missed this, guys, definitely head over to the Dreams of Saturn 3.0 page on our website. Download the game. It's available for PC and Mac.
Yeah.
And it's just such a great game. I mean, we were talking about it a little bit earlier, but the amount of Sega love in there, the amount of Shenmue love, the humour is amazing. I love it. I think he's made such an incredible game here, and even the mini games alone could be standalone fan games, but the fact that it's all amalgamated together into this Shenmue experience with a storyline, some nice heartfelt moments where Ryo gets sort of the semi-fan canon version of how he got his jacket originally is in there, some scenes with a WoW before he died, of course. I think it's great, and I think everyone, if you're a Shenmue fan or a Sega fan in general, should be checking this game out.
Absolutely.
Definitely. It's been streamed by some quite popular streamers. We've got Brutal Moose, Maxi Lobes, Maximilian Dude.
Had like 17,000 people watching this.
Just insane. Some insane numbers there. He's also released a YouTube video as well that George linked recently.
Bonkers.
I really want to watch some of these people streaming it because it's such a great game.
Yeah, it's well worth the time.
Not had the time.
Yeah. And so with you being in Japan and everything, I had the time to sit, and I sat and we streamed it for the Christmas special. I think I went till about midnight. I got quite drunk on that Christmas special.
I need to check that out. Actually, I've not seen the rest of the stream after I left.
It's good fun. But also, he's working on Reclaiming the Path. There is strong rumours of a trailer coming out at some point in the near future, if not already, depending on when I get this edited and out.
Maybe see the footage on screen now.
That'd be amazing if it is. So check that out if you haven't done so already. Again, all linked below. Then coming on, the Dojo 25th pin goes live. So this went live on December the 23rd. So event through Ko-fi.
Oh, I've got last year's. I saw it on your shelf.
It's on next to my Game U. That's the one. So if you pop that towards the camera, it should be focusing. Give it a second.
So this was last year's.
There you go.
And I was really impressed actually.
I really like them.
So obviously you've got Chibi's sort of mirror design there in green and orange. That was for the 24th anniversary, and then this year, I guess now,
done it again for the 25th.
We've decided to do one for the 25th because just Chibi's logos are just so good.
Brilliant.
And they've got that sort of pin look to them with the circular logo, and I really love the new logo he's done. Actually, I think it's going to come out good. I've tweaked it slightly as I've been talking to the manufacturers. So this one was originally black cobalt metal, because Chibi's got like a really nice gold shimmer. Yes. They recommended using gold metal, so now we're going to have a gold. I don't think it's actual made of actual gold, but it's gold metal for the 25th anniversary pin. So if you want to pick one of those up, guys, they're available on our Ko-fi page, and all proceeds go back into the website and obviously the manufacturing and the shipping. Yeah. I've tried to keep it as cheap as possible, really. It's almost
£8 something, isn't it, with shipping? It's dirt cheap.
£3.50 shipping worldwide. So even if you live in Australia, America, £3.50 shipping. Tried to kind of keep it fair for everyone to get one of these. And I think we've got about 45 left at the time of recording. Yeah. So if you want one, maybe act fast.
Yes, because they will. But the last year's sold out.
The last sold out, yeah.
Really, really quickly.
Yep.
And then The Guardian, James.
Guardian have just released an article, obviously This was on the 27th of December, so just after Christmas here. Matt Reynolds, friend of the show.
Yeah, interviewed him.
Really great guy. He's actually got some really good YouTube videos that I think we've mentioned a few times already, but some good Shenmue content from Matt Reynolds there. He's written a nice article on cozy gaming, and obviously recommends Shenmue as one of those cozy games.
Yeah, absolutely. Check out the articles linked as well. And then coming to the last couple, so Shenmue turns 26 in Japan. Famitsu put out a post, ironically not Sega Japan, they never do, it seems, noting the anniversary, the 26th anniversary of Shenmue on December the 29th. They also put out a couple of articles around Shenmue and what it did and all the technology around the game as well. I think the tweet on X has got something like 300,000 or 400,000 hits since that point. So again, driving popularity.
Honestly, some of the tweets recently, I don't
blown
know what's
up.
going on.
Blown up.
A lot of Ezra Krabbe's tweets.
Millions of views on
just
them.
Madness. So I don't know if Japan's having a little bit of a resurgence Shenmue-wise, but
I hope so.
Yeah, but this was, I mean, Famitsu always seem to appreciate Shenmue.
They do, don't they? They're pretty good.
Back in the day, they made loads of Shenmue merchandise, ranging from like magazine covers.
Watch Shenmue.
Watch Shenmue. They did a version of. They did some of the phone cards. Inside some of the issues, there's like postcards and stuff that they used to do. So I think they're really big into Shenmue, to be honest, which is probably why they've decided to tweet about the anniversary year.
Yeah.
But yeah, very positive actually.
Yeah, it's been very good. And then on the same day, I might as well dive into this one. It's the last post of the year. I launched the Shenmue 4 fan survey. So the idea of this is to look into the demand for Shenmue 4, whether people would back things like crowdfunding, and looking to identify sort of further areas of investigation and get data together for WiseNet, whoever to use to go back to publishers with. So my intention with all of this is to go back to WiseNet with all this information and give it to them and go, look, do what you need to do with it. Hopefully they do something with it. If they do, great. If they don't, that's obviously up to them. What it has identified to me is there's a good portion of the community out there would buy a Shenmue 4 straight away, with about another 10% of them sort of unsure, and there are a few, I think 5% or something are going to go, no, I'm not going to bother. Fair enough, I can understand that.
You're always going to get people out there.
Interestingly, 80% of the community, and bear in mind I've had 1,700 responses at the time of recording, which is a big data set, have said that we're going to buy Shenmue 3 Enhanced in some way, shape or form, which is good. And also, this is interesting, very, very interesting, that I think 75% said they'd back a Shenmue 4 crowdfunding.
See, that is interesting.
Which
because
surprised me.
When we've been doing shows in the past about Kickstarters, people are really against Shenmue using the Kickstarter platform again, and obviously even WiseNet themselves
don't want to
do it. But hearing that, 75% of this 1,700 currently responses to the survey we've had is quite a big number actually, and it just sort of shows that maybe if 75% of the original community that backed, you're still talking about 5 million there, aren't you?
Yeah, potentially. Right? Potentially. I mean, obviously, we'd have to dig into it a bit more.
Because we got 6. Let me try and explain that a bit more, because that was like a strange comment to make, maybe if you're not aware. But Shenmue 3 got 6.7?
Something like that, yeah.
Potentially up to 7 million.
Yeah, after the slacker.
So if you're talking 75% would back a Shenmue 4 Kickstarter, I'm trying to say that those same numbers would take away 25% or whatever is maybe around 5 million.
Which wouldn't be
so that would be a good shout, and I think that's probably what you would be aiming for. I don't think you'd reach those same numbers in Shenmue 3.
No.
Because that had the hype and the media and this long-awaited game. Like Shenmue 4 was not long-awaited to the general public
yet. It's getting there.
It is getting there, but to Shenmue fans, it's obviously is long-awaited. But if there was a Kickstarter, I think 2 million would be easy enough to make.
Yeah.
It's just which way it turns after that.
And you've got to factor in the media reaction to stuff like this. I think the campaign needs to be managed very differently to the original one. Don't get me wrong, but to see that amount of people being interested.
Right?
Now I know it's the Shenmue community only. It hasn't gone out to wider gamers, and I have tried to get it out there, but it's just not getting out there. And that's what it is. If people know how I can get it wider, do tell me. I'm obviously interested in knowing, because I've got a few other areas I want to from this explore, and I've put things together that will be coming out over the next few months to start exploring these things. But if that's the case, 75% of people want it, then surely you've got to start exploring this. Now you have to manage it differently. You have to manage the press. You have to have the proper PR around it. Wisenet would need talking into it. I think
Wisenet was stung actually by,
and I can understand why, because there was some nasty stuff going around, some outright lies, but there was some also stuff that was handled just badly all the way through. So that's one thing that's come out of this, which I thought was really interesting. And the other thing that's really interesting that people are going to potentially not like me for is actually around 76% of people who responded at this point in time have said they'd be interested in a full Shenmue remake.
Oh, okay.
Which I found really interesting.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
You listen to some of the conversation and actually you think the demand for it wasn't there. But actually having got quite a large survey here, it would seem that may not be the case. So again, something to look at.
We all want Shenmue 4 first and foremost. But if it increases the chances of getting Shenmue 4,
and this is the point,
I would be all up for a remake, because I think a remake is going to bring in a new audience, depending on who makes it. Obviously, D3T were kind of unknown at the time, and obviously that didn't go according to plan. Maybe that was like Sega trying to make a quick, cheap Shenmue remake. Whereas if they put eggs into baskets over here, we were talking earlier about a company like RGG Studios that obviously hold the Yakuza license. They're doing things like Stranger Than Heaven. They're involved in the Virtua Fighter license now. A lot of these originally tie back to Shenmue. So you've got Shenmue. First you've got Virtua Fighter,
then Shenmue,
which launched into Shenmue because obviously it was a Virtua Fighter RPG. Yakuza came about because of Shenmue.
Yeah.
And then that's generated success over the last 5 or so years.
Yeah.
So if this company now that's making Yakuza could consider creating a Shenmue remake using some of the engines that they use for Yakuza, I know it's probably not going to be the exact sort of Shenmue game die-hard fans are after, whereas we're more after like a chill experience, a patience-based game where time and things go out the window, and a lot of people want action, fast-paced gameplay these days. Maybe if they could strike a balance in between that.
That's the hard bit, isn't it? If they can get a balance in. I mean, RGG would be the studio Sega to do it. I would, question.
And that would generate a lot of
just RGG
hype.
Doing it.
Yeah, the fact that RGG are doing it, I think, kind of guarantees sales.
Yeah.
Even if people aren't that bothered about Shenmue anymore, I think the fact that RGG would be doing a Shenmue remake, it would come with a bit of merit there behind there, and fans of Yakuza games would pick it up. Stranger Than Heaven is a pure example of that. The fact that Sega are already selling merchandise in the Sega shop, they're on cue. Yep. So they've already got merchandise for a game that has only just been announced. There's nothing really much to go off of.
No.
But
no.
They're considering this to already be a success, in my opinion. And I think it will be.
I think it will be. I mean, I said this to you before we went recording. Why have they done a new IP over Shenmue? Who knows? There could be reasons for that. Shenmue may not have been in the conversation back then, but it could be now, given everything that's happened.
But we talked about this before, Matt. When you're looking at the footage that we do have of Stranger Than Heaven, some of the environments could adapt themselves to Shenmue.
Absolutely.
So if they are in this business of reusing assets to make other products, which Yakuza is a prime example of that, like you've got the set areas, assets and stuff follow from each game to game. I think even the Pirates of Yakuza, where it was,
exact same.
There's just a direct rip from Yakuza 8's Hawaii. So they're reusing those assets to make a new game. So if Stranger Than Heaven covers all these different time periods, and there's an 80s Japan in there, they could literally rip those assets into a Shenmue remake, and obviously it would need story, voice work, etc. But it could be done.
Could absolutely work. So this survey the idea was to start getting some hard data for Wisenet, but also to give me some sort of idea as to what I think we should be looking at next as a community, and the things that I've talked about, the potential crowdfunding again, and a remake are two things I'm really keen to explore with the community. And there will be at least 2 other surveys coming out this year. I'm going to let this one finish off first, see what the results of that are, publish those out and give those to Wisenet, and then I'll do the next one. Which
it's good data. I mean,
we need it.
It doesn't hurt anyone filling in a survey. It's not like this is single-handedly going to make Shenmue 4. It's just to sort of gauge interest, and hopefully these numbers can help potential parties, I guess.
And as I say, I know it's the Shenmue community who are primarily answering this, so there's going to be a bias to some level of this.
Yeah.
But I'm very keen to get this out into wider gaming circles for that point of it as well. But also, actually, the community have answered things quite honestly in some of the comments that have come back. So when I look at some of the comments and the feedback around Shenmue 3, I mean, it's everything we already know, but people are saying that again. So while it is within the community at the moment, I do want to go wider. There has been some honest responses in there, which have been very, very helpful. And this has given me hard data that I can go and use and start to explore other things. And then hopefully get this off to the right people to see it, to go, actually, do you know what? A remake is possible, because you can get, you might be able to get the current fan base will buy it before you then get new customers.
Yeah.
Which, imagine if you got, say, 400,000 or 500,000 guaranteed sales off the bat before you then look at expansion. That's insane.
Yeah.
You're going to make your money back, or start to make a good portion of that money back. But let's see where we end up. But that takes us to the end of.
So it's been a crazy year.
Flipping heck, end of 2025. 32 news topics. There were some I didn't pick up because I didn't think they were worth talking about particularly. But I mean,
what's your highlight, Matt?
I mean, Gamescom's a highlight for sure.
Yeah.
The artworks are a definite highlight. And I don't care what people say, that trailer was a highlight because it's been a shot in the arm. And that's what we needed. The community needed that shot in the arm. It set us up for 2026. And hopefully, and honourable mention Dreams of Saturn as well.
Saturn
banging. And we'll see what comes from Reclaiming the Path and more to come from that. But what about yourself, James?
Agree. All four of those, I think, are the definitive highlights. I guess the BAFTA thing as well.
Yeah, it's got to be there, hasn't it?
Yeah. So top 5, BAFTA, Dreams of Saturn 3.0, Artworks, Gamescom, and the Shenmue 4 trailer that wasn't.
Yeah, there we go. So I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the news and what's happened over the course of 2025. Obviously, we hope 2026 is as busy as this. Hopefully, we've got Shenmue Enhanced. We're hopefully getting news on that at some point.
That should be released this year.
So
there's no reason why it shouldn't.
So that's definitely going to be covered by us.
Yeah.
And then whatever comes going forward, I'm sure there'll be plenty of other bits for Shenmue that come out through this as well. And we'll see where we end up. I'm hoping we can get a Shenmue 4 announcement this year, but I mean, that could well be pie in the sky.
Could be our year, Mark.
It could be.
Got Shenmue 3 Enhanced, Shenmue 4 announced, Shenmue Remake announced.
Oh, that'd be insane.
Shenmue Animated Season 2. Obviously not, guys, but
no,
you never know.
3 Enhanced is the focus at the moment. Oh, it's gone all blurry. Let's do that again. Come on, camera. There we go.
Even the camera's like, no, guys.
Even the camera's had enough now. It's gone, that's it. But yeah, we'll leave things there, guys. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the usual places you can find us. If you want to be a member over on YouTube, it's a couple quid a month. You get all the videos outside the podcast ahead of time. So the Saturday videos, which I'm planning on doing some more of. I need to record some, actually I'm running out. But there we go. I've got one in my head that I need to sit down and record. You get all of those ahead of time. If not, just on a Saturday scheduling system, all the money raised goes to the competition prizes that we put together, the website costs, and everything else that we go on doing. James, have I missed anything?
I think you've covered it all there, Mark.
Brilliant. In that case then, guys, I'm going to leave us there. Take it easy. We'll see you soon.
Cheers, guys.
Look at the time.